Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a story time on how I was diagnosed with PCOS, but I don't have PCOS. And I also want to give a couple tips from my knowledge, kinda, in a sense. I don't know, just watch the video, okay guys? So if the story time is something that you're interested in, keep on watching, okay? Okay y'all, so let y'all know, okay, so y'all already know that I've told you about how I've had symptoms of well, not symptoms, but how I've had irregular periods. Sometimes they'll last for a long time, sometimes they're shorter depending on what I'm eating, depending on what I do that month, like as far as working out, anything like that, right? So okay, so I was like, okay, let me go to the gynecologist because they know better than me, and I can also just kind of use them and their resources such as like ultrasounds and blood tests to see what the hell I have. At first I thought I had a thyroid problem. I do not have a thyroid problem because I ended up gaining, after my whole birth control thing, the IUD and the pill. After that I had messed up periods, so I was like, maybe that messed up my hormones, messed up my thyroid. So I was like, let me just not be on it for a long time, let me see what's going on with it, you know what I mean, like let me see if it balances back out or whatever happens. So I waited, I think a year, around about a year to a year and a half, to see if it would just bounce back out. Mind you, on the birth control I gained about 60-70 pounds in 3 months, okay? Well, 3 to 4 months, around about that. And I thought I was cute because I was getting some titties, but then, you know, it ended up being belly, everything came and laid on a girl, right? Because of all that, I've had irregular periods, I've had things like that, right? So I went to the gynecologist because I was like, they have better resources than me, and then it's a doctor, so hopefully they can steer me in the right direction. As you can tell, I'm getting an attitude because they make me so mad when they're just trying to, okay, so I go into the doctor's office the first time, right? I tell her 5 minutes. I kid you guys not, I was in there for 5 minutes and I was like, yeah, I have this, or I have irregular periods, this, that, and the third, right? And she's like, oh, are you on a birth control? And I'm like, no, I'm not on a birth control, but I was on a birth control, and before I was on a birth control I had regular everything, and then I got on the birth control, and then I ended up getting irregular and being iffy and all that. I started having problems, right? So then she's like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, is it? But anyway, but she's like, yeah, well, we can put you on this progesterone and estrogen hormone, and I think that's the one that they put me on before. And I was like, how about we like check to see what's wrong with me before just putting me on like a birth control or a medication or whatever, right, for irregular periods, just to medicate my symptom. How about we figure out what's wrong? She was like, well, normally, because I asked for an ultrasound, I requested an ultrasound, and she's like, well, normally we don't do ultrasounds for things like this. And she starts giving like this attitude, and she's like, but I'm not gonna argue with you. If you want an ultrasound, you can have an ultrasound. So I'm like, before this doctor tries to label me non-compliant or like a non-compliant client, let me like try to be more gentle touch to her. So I was talking so low, like I was talking like so calm and so low, so she couldn't say I was aggressive, she couldn't say anything like that. I was like, well, I'd rather have a ultrasound, but after we figure out that, I'm happy to take whatever suggestion you have. And she's like, okay, we'll go schedule it. And she just gets up and walks out. So then I schedule my ultrasound. So then I go back in, I think like a week later, for my ultrasound. It's a guy, he was super cool. He did like the whole ultrasound. He's like, hey, here's your uterus, nothing looks wrong, looks about the right size, nothing's enlarged. If you were to have like any inflammation or fibroids or cysts or endometriosis, did I already say that? Anything like that, He was like, you'd be able to see it. He was like, because it would be enlarged, or you'd have pockets, it'd be darker in areas, or whatever he's talking about. And he went to my ovaries. He said, nope, your ovaries are good, they look the right size, they're not enlarged, nothing's wrong. And mind you, I requested the ultrasound so then we could see if I had endometriosis, fibroids, or PCOS, something like that, something physical that's going wrong in there. That's why I'm having irregular periods. And if I did have cysts anywhere or fibroids anywhere, then we'd know that going with medication that she recommended would be the best route to go, or go with a natural route. Honestly, y'all, I wasn't about to take any medicine anyway. Like, I was gonna figure out how to do it naturally, and then just go back in and then get another ultrasound to see if it got smaller or if it didn't. And then if it didn't from my natural stuff, then I was gonna go ahead and try the medication. Right after my ultrasound, I go back to a doctor to talk to a doctor about the ultrasound and the results of the ultrasound, because you get it back like that. So I walk in the room and it's not even the same doctor that I had previously. It's a new doctor, and I'm like, why did I get switched to a new doctor? Did that doctor not like me because I didn't take her suggestion? So from the previous doctor, we had talked about PCOS and things like that, mainly PCOS, but we talked about it because I had a heightened testosterone level in my blood test a year ago, right? So that's what we were talking about. So I go into this new doctor, who's magically just now my doctor, and she's like, oh yeah, so you had your and she's like talking fast now, like she's kind of pushy. So she's like, oh yeah, you had your ultrasound, so we're gonna go ahead and diagnose you with PCOS, and I'm like, what do you mean you're gonna diagnose me with PCOS? If you do not know what PCOS is, let me put it right here. It's when you have cysts on your ovaries. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. That's what it is, period. I don't have cysts on my ovaries. Okay, I understand that there could be beginning stages like high testosterone, irregular periods, things like that, right? So I requested now another blood test, just to make sure, have an updated blood test to see if I have anything. She's like, yeah, we're gonna do an updated blood test too. I'm like, cool, because that's what I was requesting. And she's like, I'm going to check and see if you're diabetic. If you're diabetic, we can put you on this medication. And are you taking the microgestrone that we told you about? And I was like, no, because I requested the ultrasound. And I wanted to do that before I had the microgestrone. Oh, well, we sent it to your thing, and then you can go ahead and pick that up. First of all, as far as I'm knowing right now, Ultrasound Man said I don't have PCOS. But okay, I forgot to add this in. The microgestrone, I looked that up, and it's supposed to be like, it like can cause depression. A lot of people that were on microgestrone also had to be on depression medicine. So this lady was trying to make me depressed. It also caused high blood pressure. So why are you trying to give me this and I don't have PCOS, and now you're trying to give me high blood pressure and you're trying to give me depression? And then I gotta be on depression medicine, and then I'm gonna be on depression medicine for the rest of my life? You're crazy, bitch. You're crazy. So we do the blood test. I go back in, I think a week and a half later, and then I go in and I'm sitting down, and this is when I got my first pap smear, y'all. It actually doesn't hurt, but I was so scared. But anyway, so we're sitting in the doctor's, and I was like, she's talking about the pap smear and like the wellness girl check. And mind you guys, I want to tell you guys this too. I have a not a cyst, I have a like what is that, I have debris in one of my breast duct things, and it showed up in a mammogram, right? And then my actual other doctor that I had, like my primary care giver, she's a black lady. Well, she was a black lady before they switched her out, but anyway, actually before she moved. But anyway, so she's so she was doing like the breast exam like this, and she felt something, so then I got a mammogram, so then I had something in here. So anyway, now back to the regular gynecologist that I just went to. I was doing the wellness checkup where you get the pap smear and you get the breast exam. So we do the breast exam. She doesn't feel it, but mind you, my other doctor felt it. I want to know why you didn't feel it. But anyway, she's talking to me. I'm like, oh, did you get my blood test back? And she's like, yeah, everything's normal. Your testosterone. Oh, I forgot a part. So let me go back the first week. Sorry, I forgot something. As we were talking about the microgestrone, she was trying to give me all types of other things, and blood tests and things like that. She was like, because I was like, well, how do I have PCOS if you're going to diagnose me with PCOS if I don't have cysts on my ovaries? She was like, sometimes it's just a high testosterone and and what is it called? And irregular periods. And I was like, okay, so that's all you need to diagnose me with PCOS? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I guess it's just what it is. Mind you, I still don't think that I have PCOS at this point. I'm just listening to what it takes to be diagnosed with it. So clinically, technically, I would have PCOS if I had high testosterone and irregular periods, according to her. So now fast forward to that week that I was talking to you about, and we're getting the pap smear and getting all that good stuff done, right? So I asked her, did you get my blood test back? She's like, yeah. And I was like, how's my testosterone? And she's like, oh, it's normal. And I'm like, so do I have PCOS still then? And she's like, well, technically no. And I'm like, technically no, bitch. I don't have cysts on my ovaries, bitch. I don't got a high testosterone level. All I have is irregular periods. So you still telling me technically, no, I don't have PCOS, but you're still putting that on my medical record. Mind you guys, it's still on my medical record that I have been diagnosed with PCOS, and I'm on the birth control that's associated with PCOS. Why? And then she was so adamant about me going and getting this medication. And I'm like, that medication honestly might make up the goddamn symptoms and make up PCOS that you're gonna try and give me. I'm not taking that shit. Then she goes on and trying to say, oh, well, sometimes it's just acne. Y'all, does it look like I have acne on my face? Does it look, come on, or irregular hair, like facial hair? Does it look like I have facial hair? I mean, you can shave, you can wax, but I don't have facial hair. I don't have acne. I don't have facial hair. I don't have abnormal hair growth. I don't have cysts on my ovaries. I don't have high testosterone. The only thing I have is irregular periods, and you still got PCOS on my shit. Now, let me tell you guys what I personally think it is according to my body, okay? And I just want all of you guys who might, I'm not diagnosing anybody. I'm not saying that you don't have PCOS if your doctor has already said it was. I'm just telling you my experience. But I do want to say that high estrogen levels, high testosterone levels, anything like that can affect your period. Now, if it isn't anything like that, get an ultrasound. Make sure you have some sort of physical cysts or something on your ovaries. If you don't have that, but you've had rapid weight gain from birth control, from anything like that, rapid weight gain can cause irregular periods. And I've noticed when I eat healthier, when I exercise, my period comes on track. When I eat a bunch of sugar, carbs, and I don't work out, my period starts to miss or be elongated or whatever. So I'm guessing for me, it's rapid rapid weight gain and just unhealthy eating. Honestly, in my opinion, a lot of syndromes, diseases, and things are, first of all, not hereditary, but second of all, they are from what you're eating. What you're eating, what you're putting into your body, what you're drinking, and not exercising. And that's honestly what I think it is. And even if you do have high testosterone or high estrogen or whatever, that can also come from weight gain and not eating healthy, because the foods that you have also have hormones in them, or eating things like super white, starchy, bleached things like white rice, sugar, white sugar, things like that heighten up your estrogen level, which can cause irregular periods. Boom. And then if you're on a medication that you don't need, that's also going to affect that. But that's all I had to say, y'all. I just wanted to tell you guys about my PCOS experience and how this lady legit just tried to diagnose me with some shit, and she wants me to take this medicine, and I'm not gonna take it because I don't have it. But yeah, go ahead and comment your thoughts. Also, you guys, comment some stuff that doctors have told you that don't seem to be true in the comment section, because I want to know more doctor stories, because these doctors are on one. Not only that, I want to tell you guys something. These doctors, for the more that they prescribe certain medicines to people, the more they get paid. That's why they're doing it, period. They're trying to feed their families. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. Yeah, so yeah, that's all I had to say, you guys. Okay, bye.